here comes the intro. Right, here we go. The screen and pull this up here. It's so noisy and so much stuff is going on. But David, how you doing today?
Pretty good. Yourself?
I'm fantastic. Now I got the link in the private chat if you can
Yep.
find it here in StreamYard.
I'm looking
And
into
then it
the
should.
email.
All right, and I can resize this. But let me explain to the audience what on earth we're up to here. Because, like, I get that it's plenty strange. Like, we're real estate people. And so usually, oh, game aborted. So I need to send you a new challenge link,
Oh,
I guess. Okay.
did I do something
Okay.
wrong?
Challenge. You rated, unrated. Okay, and we don't want to do blitz. Here we go, and play. Okay, so it's inviting you to a new one, but let me tell you what's going on. Okay, so like this, for legal reasons, it's completely unrelated to the show Hot Ones, where they eat the spicy chicken wings and they have the different members of the Avengers on. And they ask them questions, and they get steadily more and more basically uncomfortable. By the way, David, I think there's a little marker in the bottom right that says that my challenge is
Yeah, I
there.
got the link, and it says because it would have aborted the first one. It says can only accept challenge once.
Okay, so what I'll do then is I'll just create a brand new. Okay, it still sees that my challenge is going on. Do you see it actually in StreamYard? I'm actually showing a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
of this as well. It looks like this. So it's just waiting for you for that to accept that one. So maybe if you refresh the page, you'll see it or something, or
Oh,
maybe. So anyway, so I think it's cool that they have that idea where people are talking and showing who they really are as a person because of being uncomfortable, and I think it's gonna show even more in a game. Like I take this game way more seriously than I ought to, and I always like it when somebody else also gets frustrated with this game because
like I'm
I
getting
find
right now
I
trying to log in.
right, but that's yeah, that's not the part. But what if I okay, I'll try canceling it and then I'll hit play a friend and then I'll create another challenge link. There we go. Boom, copy link. There we go. So now StreamYard has a new link for you. Boom, and here
There
we
we
go.
go.
Right. So basically, yeah, I think that you wind up actively disliking your opponent in chess fairly frequently. But one thing I've done that's very rude, though, David, do you want to introduce yourself to the audience? You got
Uh,
15 minutes, so.
yeah. David Wade from Dayton, Ohio, and just starting out my journey in real estate syndication space.
All right, awesome, awesome. So, all right, there we go. Okay, so we're going for that one. I'm gonna stick to book here. But yeah, so as far as your history in this game, David, who taught you how to play chess?
My dad loosely, but I always had friends that played, so I wouldn't say I was ever really good. I understand the basic concepts and what pieces do what,
Mm,
and some of the
yeah.
gimmicky, openings, but that's about it. Um,
Right, right. I like that you say that the gimmicky. I think that's a really, really good way of putting it. Because the ones that come off right off the bat, the names are either the Scholar's Mate, the Fool's Mate, or the
yeah,
Wayward Queen. Those are the technical names for them for anybody who was really eager to find out the answer to that little piece of trivia. But yeah, so I know that my white opening is pretty unusual. Like NF3 is not a common one, so it's pretty normal for people to be unaccustomed to it as a whole. So do I want to do it that way? Yeah, I think I'll do it this way. All right. But yeah, it's funny. I really didn't want to play people on chess because it's
oh yeah,
very adversarial and like I just don't like zero sum games. I don't I don't feel because like if there's definitely a winner and a loser, I feel like one person's taking something from the other person. But I that dovetails into we were talking before about how you served in the army. Uh, do you want to elaborate on that? Like, what do you like to publicly share on that subject?
Yeah, so I was wrestled in college, graduated with my degree, went and worked in film production for a little bit, and just really wasn't really my scene. Work was pretty hard because it was all freelance, so I'd always wanted to, um, join the military. So I figured it was one of those, crap or get off the pot moments. So I did it shortly after college, and I qualified to get a language, which was really cool. I got to go out to California and do basically it was like high school. It was like 7 period, hour blocks throughout the day,
Hmm.
and um, that was for a year. And so I did that, and then I went to my unit. I was at Fort Bragg for a long time. Well, basically my whole active duty time was at Fort Bragg. I did a combat deployment 2015. Then I came back. Went to Special Forces selection, got selected, and then throughout the training, I injured my knee, and basically they said you could go back and kind of just ride a desk job, or you could take your chances at medical, your med board. So I was like, get me out. Like I'm not going to sit at like NSA or something like that for I don't know however long their shifts are, and it just wasn't for me. And it was one of those like I was already regretting it. I missed my kid. My son was born uh, when I was in the army, and I missed his first steps because of training, being out in the field. I'm like, I'm done with this. This is like let's see what civilians are about.
Yes. 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 See, that's why I really got into content creation. It's because it's especially for dudes, I think, like we do all of this stuff for people that we don't get to see,
Yeah,
traditionally, and I think that sucks. And so one of the things that I definitely feel like I did right in life was I've been working from home for the entire life of my kids. And so, they've got a solidarity that I feel I never personally had, because somebody's there all the time, and I think that that means a lot to everybody. I think that's really really important. So I think that more people need to pipe up and say that. And actually, I don't know if you've ever seen any of the episodes, but I've had some pretty notable guests. It sounds like I'm going to have Brian Cuban on this fall again, and so I'm really excited about that. But one of the main the main questions that we have are who do you help professionally? But then I ask, who do you wish you could help more? And lots of people, they take the professional route and say, oh, well, I want to help more investors deploy capital. But I personally want to hear people say, I haven't had the opportunity to spend time with my family, and that's what I want. So, whatever I have to do and knock it out of the park to have that opportunity, please help me get that opportunity. Let's make this work, right?
yep.
So I think that's absolutely huge, and that's why I did that. So, but I'm having a lot of fun on this one. So how are you doing for the level of distraction being on a podcast
I don't
while
know, man.
playing chess?
I got 2 kids and a wife, so it's like I can kind of
Right?
pay attention, but like I'm lacking in both a little bit.
Oh man, yeah, yeah, exactly. Being like experience of being primary caregiver. That's another thing that's super duper intense, and it's definitely not for everybody. Like
Yeah,
I personally find that you start picking up the impulses of your kids, and it's kind of
yeah,
creepy. It's like suddenly you have some impulse to engage in some sort of antisocial behavior, and you're like, I didn't do that for the last 30 years. Why do I want to do it now? It's like, wait a second. Oh, darn kids.
Yeah,
But
because my wife's a teacher, so we're all home now for the summer. So this is all the fun time of the traveling, camping, and lessons being
mhm.
taught.
Right, right. Yeah, homeschooling is that's intense. I actually think it's similar. I was thinking about this last night. It's kind of funny. I use this example. Henry the Eighth. I think Henry the Eighth. He made one really, really big mistake, which is when he decided to not only be king but also be the head of the Church of England. He combined the source of spiritual factuality in England, okay, right? And the maker of the law. And I think that's a terrible, terrible position to be in, just because if you do a bad job at one, they're going to disrespect the other, and that's not good.
Well, no, there's the old absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Well, yeah, and I'm saying it's even
If
worse
you're
than
the head of
that.
the state and you're head of the church, like who's there to counterbalance you in any measure? Like you
Right.
you're the boss.
We're right, but I'm just saying that at the end of the day, when it comes to, the lower part of the population, there's more. There's always more. There's like there's no way around that. So it really means that if somebody's really being out of hand, then actually could do that. Hmm. I'm having fun.
Oh yeah, I haven't played Chester forever.
Ah, that's funny. You know what? Oh, okay, that's what I'll do. Okay. So, did you manage to see any of the episodes yet? We've got
I've
I
watched
think
a
about like
couple.
nine.
It's always funny watching the ones who aren't familiar with chess, really, and they're just like, just kind of, oh, that looks fun.
Right, right. And of course the so what about the sound effects? Especially like, did you catch the blunder sound effect?
Oh, I haven't caught any of the sound effects. I've only
Oh,
watched one
okay.
full one all the way through. Then I watched kind of like the short clip as the
Oh,
on the
right. Well, one thing that's fun from a comedic perspective is that, like, you'll have it like if a pawn takes a bishop, it'll be the sound of a guy getting whacked in the face with a shovel. And it's really funny because we end up talking about serious things like well, I'm up. I always tell people that I'm from the internet, right? But I'm physically located in Canada,
yeah.
and I think it is somewhat relevant that today, which is the 5th of June, they actually cut interest rates here. So I don't know if that's actually going to come down to that's kind of fun. I don't know if that's going to turn into
What's the Canadian
some
version of the
reflection of what
Fed?
America's going to do, but yeah, let's try this.
What's the Canadian version of the Fed?
Bank of Canada.
Oh, okay, but
Yeah,
is
it's
it
called Bank.
governmentally part of the government or is it a private
It
institution?
is part of the it is part of the government, and it does
That's a
not
pretty
have
big distinction between the two.
shareholders. Yeah, it doesn't have shareholders like J.P. Morgan as the overt actual owners. And so, like, if you know otherwise, like, that's the extent of my understanding when it comes to the Fed. But this is one piece of the puzzle that I am aware of and have been aware of for quite a while, is the different central banks.
Yeah.
So like Taiwan has a central bank, Japan has a central bank, and so, like, and I was watching what sort of policy things could they affect, and I started doing that basically in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually know it would have been 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. So like, when I hear people, like, you get a fairly large number of libertarians, for example, in this space, or people who are anti-establishment, but that's one that I've really found, though, is that I don't think that having a central bank is necessarily something nasty, but it's for sure it's going to get weaponized
Well, it's
from
just
time to time.
who's it that my big thing is who are they accountable to?
Yeah. Well, that's the scary thing, right? So I have some friends. Okay, and one of them, basically, the moment he passed the bar exam and he got his law degree, he and another classmate promptly went out and sold a security without a license or an exemption. Okay, and well, why is that? It's because you can have a law degree and pass the bar and not know that selling passive interest to somebody is something you have to register. And you can only do it if you have an exemption that works.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, because I was one of the first things I did out of the army was financial services, and like there's
Hmm.
so much red tape and what you can, the cans and can'ts.
Hmm.
You really have to pay attention because you can really get yourself hemmed up.
Yep, for sure. So, but yeah, so it's really pretty crazy that that's the state of things. But all like the most important thing is making sure you have documentation of your substantive relations. Now, I could, of course, say whatever that is, but then I'd just be trying to get a laugh. Okay. So, yeah, I obviously didn't see that. And I see a one off attack. And I see I've got 12 and a half minutes. So, I really should think about it at this point. I think. Oh, that's probably it. Yeah, I'm going to do that.
That's not what you want to do.
There we go. Yeah, sorry. See, that's the thing that I also find funny about chess is I find that I want to be courteous with my clock, and I shouldn't, right? From a competitive standpoint, it's your time. You
Yeah,
agree
I mean, it's not a speed game.
beforehand. Yeah, yeah. There are the different formats. I did have one guest who came on and did Blitz, and that's super duper intense while you're being interviewed. I do think the conversation really suffers a little bit at that
Oh yeah,
point.
because everyone's like, there's time, no, there's time at stake.
Yeah, right. And but of course, it really depends on how much you're willing to think in order to not embarrass yourself on a silly game.
To not embarrass yourself.
Right, right. So of course, another one that's fun is I was also concerned. I had two concerns with this show, but one of them is I was just waiting for some ringer to come along, right? And that ringer definitely did come along. It was in commercial real estate syndication. Yeah, there's a guy who has a FIDE rating of 2259.
Is that like the
So
chess ranking?
yeah, that's a chess ranking. So that's basically stone's throw away from being able to get like master. So like holy smokes, yeah, that was really really intense playing with him. And but he's really excited just that to bring more awareness to the game and things like that. So if I do that, yeah, that works. That's fun. Does it work? Doesn't really work. Oh, it kind of works. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm putting David to sleep here. This is terrible. I'm
Yo,
sorry, David.
you ever see those videos of people do sing that
Oh,
song and it's just the image of the North Sea and it's just like black waves like out on those um what are they called, on those oil rigs they have out in the North Sea.
right, right. The
Oh,
buoys
check.
or yeah, oil rigs. Right. That's not the same. That's fun. So, right. So you're in the syndication side. That's fun. But yeah, part of the thing that I'm up to here, you're gonna hate this move. Um,
Yep.
okay. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, let's do it this way. Ooh, saucy. Flat out ignores it. Good stuff. But yeah, there's all sorts of sound effects, and it's just really funny when we're deadpan serious and
Just total ice shatter.
right, right, exactly. But so I guess we got 6 minutes left. I guess now is a good time to point out about how the best ways to reach out to us to get connected, find out what we're doing in the real estate space is through LinkedIn. I'm lucky enough to have this really distinct name, so it's super easy to find. I also have a doodad that I could throw up on the screen because if you like my hat, man, should you ever check out the book, right? Here's the Amazon author page right there. So if you search me up, I got a few different books on different business skill building related subjects.
What kind of
So
lunch does your
you
boss eat?
yeah, yeah. Well, it's yeah. I don't really eat anybody's lunch anymore. Basically, the story about that one that was actually about non-disclosure agreements and how like basically if you're really being squeezed and you can't support yourself and your boss really isn't giving you the option to survive, then it's not unethical to open up a place across the road.
Yeah.
So so if I do that, yeah, I think I'm still going to do this then. Even though it feels like that doesn't really get me ahead. Oh, yeah, no, that's a stupid move. I should do that instead, right?
No.
Ah,
Yo ho. Yo ho. Pirate's life for me.
yeah, it's funny because the material does not tell the tale of what's going on right here at all.
No, it's a total. It's an outlier. Like chess is a
Yeah,
neutral ground.
right. You're gonna go over there, so I guess I should just out. Yeah, but there you go. So, but I guess it all comes down to um, how seriously you take games in general. Hmm.
That's one of the reasons I don't do golf and tennis.
Right. That makes sense.
I'm naturally a
That makes sense.
competitive person. I'm more of a hit it and slam it kind of guy than a finesse.
Right.
When it comes to
Right. Or
sports.
right. So I've been telling people that right now I describe myself as in practice. So the thing is like I played more chess recently than I have at any other time. So, like if we're really going kind of crazy here, it's pretty like that's fairly unusual for me these days. So, and this game's pretty weird. Anyway, I should probably just accept the fact that I got a material advantage, even though this is going to be. There we go. So this will be a fun little end game, but yeah. So LinkedIn is a great way to get a hold of you. You're putting out some great content these days. Do I want to do it that way? I probably shouldn't do it that way, but I want to do it that way. I really should ignore that completely. I'm going to ignore that completely. See, I just ignored that completely. I better be careful. I might start talking to myself, David. Man, but yeah, I'm having a great time, and that's what I'm.
Yeah, you put
I
the
just feel
feeler out, and
right.
it's like, why it's holding you up? And I was like, an invite, man.
Right, exactly. But I think it tells you so much about a person. Just this game, it's like, how easy did they give up? Do they just start saying like, "Oh, you want pieces? Here are all of my pieces,"
Just walk into the meat
and
grinder.
right, exactly. Oh, that's actually cooler than I thought it was, wasn't it? Eh. Yeah, I'll still do that because there's an X-ray hiding in there too.
Nice.
So that was fun. Right. The sound effect I was saying about 5 minutes ago. When there's a blunder, it does a dun dun dun, an
Nice. Which
unforced
one of my
error.
moves gets that one?
It says none on
Oh,
here, but it actually has a full review. I don't know if it's acceptable under their copyright free,
I
but
see.
if you
Say
want to
one
know,
mistake, two blunders, zero misses.
right. So if I stop that and then instead I share this other screen, which
Now, was that
is
me or
this
you that
one.
had those? That's how I did, right?
This I have both. So these numbers here. Well, first is the eval bar, which is up here, right? So whatever color is predominant, that's who has the advantage. So that means up until here, like it was more or less even. It looks like I had a pretty good jump. Oh, right, yeah, it was that pawn. You came
Yeah.
out with the e4, so I was a pawn up immediately with no consequences. Yeah, so that's what that was. But so that's what this is, and then the accuracy that is compared to the computer engine, what its best move it could think of at every opportunity. What percent of the time were you basically there? And so, like, there you go. So you're if you were a general AI, that's pretty good because you're 61%.
Dang, I'm fast.
Hooray! Right, exactly. So 7 times you got the best move that the engines could find,
Yeah,
but
that's not bad.
zero blunders. No blunders. It says I made one mistake, you made three, and both of us missed once. But
Okay.
yeah, it says I played.
So
So
overall,
there you go.
pretty square game.
Oh yeah. That's right. Exactly. That problem right there was a lot of it, and you can see the sample lines just firing out here, so you know what it likes and what it doesn't like. And this is the sort of thing that people who say there's no techno gap, I'd like them to see this because it's like, okay, so let's say you want your kid to be top in your class in chess. It's like, well, do they have access to this? Because if they don't, they're going to lose. Like, this is an unfair advantage.
Reverse
Being able,
engineering the game.
right, right, exactly. So you could just memorize it. It's like, okay, so what did I do that was stupid? Oh, cool, that was the best move. That was the iffiest move for me.
It's
I
almost
wasn't
chess just becomes
sure.
a muscle memory to act and react versus sit and think.
Well, right, and that was the thing. So I like I was talking about how I was concerned about playing against humans, and so last year I boot camped myself to do 7,000 puzzles, And then this year, I started ripping the Band-Aid in January. So I've put in about 3,000 games this year.
Oh, nice.
Right. So that's what I say. Like I'm in practice, and it's like I'm trying to make use of this, and the reason is because I'm trying to lead by example for my son. I'm
Yep.
trying to basically show him it's like out there somewhere there's somebody as dedicated as I am and has the youthful skill of you. But I get to hold my head up high. I win about half the time against my son, and he's almost 11.
Nice.
Like that's not bad, right? Keep up with the youngsters. So, but anyway, I want to thank you in the audience for spending some time with us on our silly game, and I do hope that you get further in your real estate career. If you want to do me a solid, down there's this hideous subscribe button, and you can get rid of it for free, and your youngsters won't judge you anymore. See, if your youngsters walk by and they see you're not subscribed, they'll be like, oh my god, I thought I knew you, and it's a headache. But I want people to click on subscribe, because if enough people do, then YouTube will actually start to pay for these videos instead of me. I won't need sponsors or anything. That'd be cool. But anyway, thanks a bunch, David. This has been really cool getting to know you.
Thanks a lot.
Awesome.
Does nothing but put more money in the pot.
Right.
If we talk about just the investor side, I mean, Shane talked about the sponsor side a little bit. I'll talk about the investor side. Okay, so you want the most money in terms of return with the least risk. All right, you want to do it yourself, you can go get 13 or 14%. You're going to do all the underwriting, it's not going to be passive.
If you bet, probably not.
I think I'd have to bet at least 2,500 before they fold.
And the pot is
4,000.
4,000. Yeah, I think you're right, but I'd rather just check.
Okay.
First position, you have the right of collection and the right of foreclosure or sheriff's sale, wherever you're at.